Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this scene. It's a Sunday morning, right?
Yeah.
You're at VIDA U Street, which is like the spot for the gay fitness crowd in D.C.
And very much so.
And suddenly, everyone's phones just start blowing up. News is spreading, and it feels like, I don't know, a real punch to the gut. Or maybe the scalp.
Yeah, the scalp is probably more accurate here.
There's even this story, maybe a bit over the top, but someone supposedly dropped a weight mid-rep yelling about the FDA attacking their hair.
Wow. Okay, that definitely sets the scene.
It really does. And it captures what we're unpacking today. This FDA warning from April 2025 about compounded finasteride and minoxidil. And the huge splash it made, especially in DC's gay community. And yeah, specifically among the VIDA fitness regulars.
It's pretty fascinating, isn't it? How a health announcement about a specific drug can tap into something much deeper.
Super how?
Well, into cultural anxieties, what a community really values. This isn't just about hair loss prevention. It's touching on self-image, confidence, even the sort of unspoken rules of engagement in that scene.
Exactly. So just for context, for anyone listening who might not be deep in the weeds on this,
Yeah.
finasteride, it's a really common medication for male pattern hair loss.
Right. Very common. The U.S. National Library of Medicine stats show it affects, over half of men over 50? So lots of people are dealing with this.
Huge numbers. Now, the standard version, maybe you know it as Propecia, that's an FDA-approved pill. You take it orally.
And it works by blocking an enzyme that converts testosterone to DHT. DHT is the hormone that shrinks the hair follicles.
Got it. So pill form, FDA-approved. But that version, the oral one, it does come with potential side effect that people worry about.
Yeah, definitely. Our source material mentions these, and they're a big reason for this whole situation. Things like erectile dysfunction, lower libido, even mood changes.
Right. And sometimes, though it's rare, more serious things like anxiety or depression have been reported too.
Correct. And that fear of side effects is really key here.
Which brings us to the star of our show today.
Yeah.
Compounded topical finasteride.
Exactly. This is the custom-made stuff. Often it's mixed with minoxidil. That's another hair loss treatment. Works differently. More about blood flow, maybe.
And you put this mix directly on your scalp.
Right. And the big appeal, which the district drama piece really nails, was the strong hope of dodging those systemic side effects from the pill.
The thinking being, if it's just on my head, less gets into my whole system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lower risk of, the unwanted issues down below or mood changes.
Precisely. A more targeted attack on hair loss. Maybe even that 1-2 punch if it's mixed with minoxidil. Plus, people like feeling they're getting something tailor-made.
That customization aspect is always appealing, isn't it?
It is. But this is exactly where the FDA comes in with their warning.
Okay, so what did the FDA actually say?
Well, the core message, and the article quotes it, is that these compounded potions can be as risky, if not riskier, than their pill form counterparts. That's a direct quote.
Riskier? Wow. So much for dodging side effects.
Yeah, it kind of flips the script. They mentioned 32 reports of adverse events just between 2019 and 2024, specifically linked to these compounded versions.
And these weren't just minor things.
Not at all. We're talking brain fog, testicular pain, persistent depression.
Yeah.
Serious issues that really challenge that whole safer because it's topical idea.
Okay, that definitely changes the calculation.
Yeah.
And the article, it really digs into why this stuff got so popular, particularly in the DC gay scene, the VIDA crowd.
It seems, a huge part was that intense desire to avoid the systemic side effect, especially ED. That's a major concern for a lot of guys, understandably.
Makes sense. And the convenience, putting one thing on instead of two.
That too. Combining finasteride and minoxidil in one go was definitely a bonus for many. Simple, targeted, seemed ideal.
It also sort of taps into that proactive self-care vibe, maybe, maintaining a certain look.
I think so. And wanting to look good is fine, of course. But the issue here is relying on treatments that haven't cleared the FDA's rigorous approval hurdles. That introduces a lot of unknowns.
And the article is super clear on this. Compounded drugs are not FDA approved, period.
Right. It even pulls in Healthline to explain that because they're mixed individually, they skip all that standardized testing for safety, efficacy, quality control. It's just not the same level of oversight.
That's a massive difference. You don't really know what you're getting.
Exactly. There might have been this perception, maybe encouraged by some prescribers, maybe just assumed that topical equals safer. But the formulas can vary wildly. Strength, other ingredients, it's unpredictable.
And potential risks weren't always fully laid out.
Seems that way sometimes. Plus, the article brings up another risk, Accidental exposure, someone else touching it, especially a pregnant woman. That's a serious concern given finasteride's known risks during pregnancy.
Okay, so the FDA drops this warning and the reaction. The article captures some pretty intense responses from people in D.C.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like genuine panic for some.
Like people joking, or maybe not joking, about having to cancel their Fire Island shares if their hair thins out more.
Right. Or calling the FDA homophobic for, messing with their hair regimens.
That's quite a take. And the fear of looking like a thumb before soft launch season. We need to unpack soft launch season.
Okay, yeah. So soft launch season, in this context, especially on social media, like Instagram within the DC gay scene, it seems to be that pre-reveal stage for a new relationship.
Like hinting you're seeing someone. A couple of cocktails in a photo, maybe a hand holding another hand, but not the full face reveal yet.
Exactly. Building buzz before the official "we're together" post. So you can see why looking your absolute best during that potential scrutiny period would feel important.
Makes total sense. Well, look sharp for the debut. And this ties into what the article discusses about DC's broader culture, right? This focus on appearance.
Yes, definitely. There's this idea that in DC, appearance, power, desirability, they can get really intertwined, particularly within the gay community. A pressure to look young, fit, successful.
Like a certain kind of polish is expected.
Sort of. And the piece quotes the Nashville hair doctor on the real psychological impact hair loss can have: anxiety, depression, feeling withdrawn socially. It's not just vanity for many people.
So that desire for a polished look, it's linked to feeling accept, maybe getting ahead socially or even professionally. The article mentions Annie's Paramount Steakhouse. Like maybe looking good matters even in those everyday social spots.
It hints at that, yeah. How appearance can subtly shape interactions and perceptions, almost like an unspoken currency in certain circles.
And the timing of this FDA warning. The article points out it couldn't be worse.
Terrible timing, yeah. Right as everyone's thinking about summer.
Sleeveless shirts, tank tops, rooftop parties, Pride.
Exactly. All events where people want to feel confident and look good. There's even that quote, "Does the FDA hate Pride?"
It just shows how personally people took this, like a direct hit right before peak social season.
It really amplifies the whole thing. It's not just the hair, it's the confidence, the presentation during these big moments.
Okay, so for listeners who are maybe using this stuff or thinking about hair loss treatments and are now feeling, concerned, what practical advice does the article offer?
The advice is pretty straightforward and sensible, actually. It really pushes people back towards established healthcare route.
Like step one.
Talk to a real doctor, a licensed physician, not TikTok gurus, not your buddy at the gym. Have an actual medical consultation.
Makes sense. Discuss this FDA warning specifically.
Yes. Lay it all out. Explore all the options and, crucially, understand the risks. Not just the potential risks of compounded finasteride. We've discussed the ED, the brain fog, mood issues. Even suicidal ideation is mentioned as a rare but serious risk.
Wow, okay.
But also be aware of the risks that can come with the FDA-approved oral finasteride, too. The article points towards resources like the Mayo Clinic for balanced info on that.
So it's not just compounded bad, pill good. It's understand the risks of both.
Exactly. Informed decisions guided by a professional. Then, the article suggests looking into alternatives.
Like what?
Things like over-the-counter minoxidil, which is widely available, or procedures like microneedling or PRP therapy. But again, the key is professional guidance for any of these.
Don't just start jabbing your head with needles based on a YouTube video.
Please don't, no. And the final piece of advice, which is maybe the most important.
Yeah.
Don't tie your self-worth entirely to your appearance, to your hair.
That's a big one. And a tough one in today's world, maybe.
It really is, but it's crucial.
So this whole FDA alert situation, the article frames it as more than just a health warning. It's like a cultural moment.
I think that's fair. It's a stark reminder about the risks you take when you chase untested, unregulated solutions, often driven by societal pressure about looks.
It really underscores why we have bodies like the FDA.
Yeah.
To provide that safety net, that level of scrutiny.
Absolutely. The appeal of a quick fix, something personalized, it's strong. But you have to weigh that against potential and sometimes very serious downsides. Evidence-based medicine matters.
So wrapping it up, the main takeaway is FDA warns about compounded finasteride and minoxidil. It causes a major stir, especially in DC's gay community, where this treatment was popular and where appearance holds significant cultural weight.
Precisely. And it forces a bigger conversation about appearance pressure, the lengths people go to, and ultimately the need to prioritize health and, well, authenticity over risky cosmetic shortcuts.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? All this pressure, these idealized images everywhere. Where is that line between self-care and chasing some kind of, I don't know, impossible perfection? And who even defines what real confidence looks like? Definitely something to chew on.